setting up right now. We'd just like to point out that we're making really good time here. So we have a couple more rounds to go, and we're trying to give teams that had trouble an extra chance. And after this is over, we'll have an exhibition round where teams can just go again, and people can feel free to come up and watch the robots in different situations and also talk to the team members. So team number 14, tell us a little bit about your robot.
Well, we spent a lot of our time working on the theoretical aspects of design, and consequently, a lot of the practical problems that we didn't consider emerged. We broke the mechanical problem into 3 parts. First, we have a baler on the front of the robot that spins around, and we got that inspiration from one of our Wisconsin friends. It's based on farm equipment. It looks like there's something, yeah, the styrofoam blocks that we propped up are still under the robot. When we were testing, yeah, we need to remove those. Okay, let me explain what happened. A minute ago we were testing it to make sure everything was working, so we put some styrofoam under it so it couldn't move while we did that. And it looks like the styrofoam's still there. So, ceteris paribus, it's going to sit there and rotate for 3 minutes. Yeah, so anyway, it uses a baler, which is a fairly dumb mechanism. It doesn't require any computation to collect the balls. And on the back, there's an arm that rotates with a high torque motor. Do we need to kill the program? Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay. So while Team 14 restarts their robot, are we ready? Are we ready for the next group? Team 13 is going to go ahead and do their round.
What? It's 18.109.6.107. And it is publishing, but it hasn't started yet. So we're going to do mapping first.
Okay. So Team 13 is going to do a mapping round for the first round. Can you tell us a little bit about your mapping round?
Yeah, so our mapping round just does wandering behavior, and it should wander around using its IR sensors not to hit walls. And if it finds an area where there are balls, which apparently it saw the ball right there, it spins around and marks it in an array. And just based on it dead reckons to the spot based on our shaft encoders that we have. And so it should just keep going around marking arrays, and hopefully it won't mark the same array twice. We've put some code in for that. And then at the end of the round, it'll choose the top 3 arrays, the most interesting of the balls, and hopefully it'll go for those in our actual scoring round. We're also going after, if we see a goal, it'll go to a goal and mark that goal's position as well. So we store that for the scoring round as well.
Now, Maslab provides teams with some fairly simple optical encoders, but you guys have a much more advanced optical encoder. Where did you get your optical encoders from?
Yeah, that's pretty brilliant. Renaud, who's over there, and another of our teammates that's back in France, actually, Anton, took apart your standard computer mouse and used the optical encoders that run the trackball or not the trackball, but the actual ball underneath the mouse. And so we have about 700 ticks worth of precision. So it should be pretty accurate, is the hope.
For comparison, the very basic optical encoders that we have 18 or 36 ticks on there. So why does your robot go to a particular object to mark it?
It's based solely on color scanning. So if it sees that it's found a red ball or such, it goes, and it's actually using most of the same code that we use for scoring. So it goes towards balls and stuff, and then once it finds it, it scurries around and tries to count how many balls are in that location and stores that number.
And is it smart enough to realize that it's found the same object twice?
Supposedly. It should. Well, there's several factors here. One is that sometimes, for example, it'll see a goal from a distance, and it doesn't realize that it's already found that goal. So it'll enter like the go-to-goal routine that we have, and it'll still mark that goal from the distance where it first saw it, which is unfortunate. But as we can see here, it keeps going after this ball. But it should have like an interesting area thing where it marks whether or not we've found an interesting area and then do it again. So.
Now you've also set up your encoder so you can tell it to drive to a particular location even though there are some obstacles in between. How do you manage to do that?
Well, again, hopefully it does that. We have a gyro on it, gyroscope, so it should just keep going towards the angle. And the motors go towards the angle that that our final position's at. We'll see here if it works that well. And if not, I mean, if all else fails, it still goes in the wander code, at which point it should grab balls and pick them up. So, hopefully.
So currently, are you using information from the mapping round in your from your exploration round in your scoring round?
Hopefully. It's probably going to be hard to tell because it actually only went in these like 3 areas. So it's supposed to exit as soon as it sees a ball. So it might just look like it's going from ball to ball with the complete wandering code. But I mean, supposedly the mapping is also working.
And if you look up at the bot client, you can see the X's where it's found a ball.
This is good. Keep going. Whoa.
Now, how is it going to decide between those 2 balls?
It chose the one to the left. And unfortunately missed it. I'm not sure why. Yeah, so it's wandering around right now. It missed the balls that turned the wrong way. But hopefully it'll grab this ball and then hopefully it'll score since the goal's right beyond it.
Will it try to score as soon as it sees a goal?
If we have balls in the top, or if it did its little catch maneuver and it thinks we have balls. So apparently it's just going to score and it missed the ball. But crap. We aimed a little bit too far to the right, so it actually it got caught on it, and now it thought it scored. So it's like, hey, I got no balls left, and luckily it didn't dump them out anywhere silly like, and we still get possession points. But it would have been better if we could have scored.
So once it finds another ball, will it attempt to go for the goal again if it sees one?
Yeah, it definitely will, and hopefully in that case it'll score all the balls. So. I'm really hoping this happens at some point. It should work.
Now, are you using your odometry during this round as well to keep track of where you've been and go to new areas?
No, we no longer are doing any mapping. The odometry in this round is solely based on trying to go to the spots. But it should have marked all the spots already, which is why it's often in La La Land out here gathering more balls. Hopefully it'll see.
So how's it choosing where to go right now?
It actually wall follows for the most part. It looks like it's seen the goal, which is really pretty good that we're seeing it from that distance. It means our color recognition's good. So we're also hoping it gets there before we reach 0, because, yeah. Why is it going so slow? Faster! Go! Yeah!
One on the porch.
What? Oh, one on the porch. And that's 16 points for Team 13. They had 3 balls inside